place from which the edicts were issued that caused tonight's operation, Operation Desert Storm. John Holloman in Baghdad.
Something has changed, David. All the lights in the city of Baghdad are now out, from everything we can tell. My colleague Bernie Shaw is with me as we look out on this now dark city. It's absolutely pitch black.
And even though it's pitch black, for some curious reason, the emergency lights are working here at the hotel. But I can definitely see smoke. Yeah, you see that flicker of light out there.
Yeah, there's a pallor of smoke over the whole city, Bernie. There were several explosions, pretty big explosions, maybe 5 or 10 miles away from where we are standing a little bit earlier this evening in the attack. And there's been a lot of smoke from that. And also, don't forget that early morning fog that we were talking about early this morning, it's about the time for that fog to begin to roll in again. So,
well, I know the people here on the ground are praying for fog. It was very thick. Our charter couldn't come in yesterday morning, and I know they must be praying for fog. I want to go back to a description. When this first happened, when this burst upon us, I was trying to come up on the air. I'm told that we did get out. To describe for you, ladies and gentlemen, what that looked like against a canopy of a black sky. It was like the fireworks finale on the 4th of July at the base of the Washington Monument. Peter, you're chuckling, but that to me is not an exaggeration.
I'm chuckling with nervousness, Bernie, not with derision. You made a comment a little earlier about the fog. I don't think the fog is going to help Baghdad. You mentioned earlier it's strategic bombing. These American planes know exactly where they're going and what they're going to hit. And fog isn't going to help anyone if they're in those gun sites or in those bomb sites.
I want to say for the record, the White House made every effort to warn journalists on the ground here that danger was imminent. You could not expect the President of the United States to say, I'm going to do thus and so at a time certain. So we appreciate the warnings we received from the White House. We're safe. I don't know whether the airport here has been knocked out. We'll find out in the morning. I was awaiting a charter to take me out of here along with some of our CNN colleagues, but for now we're hunkering down, and we'll see what daybreak brings. John?
Yeah, I'm looking out the window and can again see some flickers of light off on the horizon to the west of Baghdad, maybe 10, 15 miles away. I have my head in the window. I'm looking out over the street now. There are a couple of vehicles down there on the streets below that have bright lights attached to them. And it may be that the Iraqi authorities on the ground are looking around trying to do a little damage assessment. It's a cool night. It's probably 40, 45 degrees.
While you're reporting, I just want to pull your head out of that window.
Bernie, you're a good friend. The best way to see, though, is to look. And as I do look, I'll try to keep my head as far down as I can. All my friends have been giving me advice for months. When you go back to Baghdad, keep your head down. I'm trying to do that. There's a sound outside now. It might be a motorcycle or it might be a helicopter. I can't tell. Maybe even a truck. A truck. Yeah, a truck. And it's down on the road below. Maybe the July the 14th bridge that goes across in the area where the United States Embassy was before the embassy was shut down here. As we
you know, that fellow the driver of that truck must know something we don't know, because I damn sure wouldn't be on the road right now.
I'm not real happy to be in this hotel, Bernie, but we're here. And let's do this. There's still a few lights on the streets below. There are obviously some government vehicles down there doing some damage assessment, but the skies over Baghdad are quiet now. And, Bernie, maybe very soon we should check back with our colleagues and see what else they can tell us about what's going on.
Before we cut away from Baghdad, I just want to say, if you were just joining CNN anywhere in the world, we are reporting on the third, was it the third wave, Peter Arnett?
Probably 4 or 5.
We are reporting on the 4th or 5th wave of bombing runs and the reaction on the ground of Iraqi anti-aircraft guns.
And Bernie, I believe they were the F-15Es from Saudi Arabia that were reported on CNN earlier. They were apparently coming in this direction, but it has been deathly quiet here for about 20 minutes. It seems that this initial raid is over.
Let's take John's suggestion and go back to Atlanta now, just in case our colleagues on the network have more information for you.
Bernie Shaw, Peter Arnett, and John Holloman at the Al Rashid Hotel in Baghdad. Of course, we'll be back to you, and thank you very much for your reports. We're happy to see that you're in good spirits. You have a terribly large story to report. We're going now to the White House. President Bush will address the nation at 9 p.m. Our senior White House correspondent, Charles Bierbauer, is there.
Thank you.
David, I think that as we find the detail unfolding in what is transpiring here tonight, we will see that the timing is very meticulous, and that when the president speaks here at the White House at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, it will be 5 a.m. in Baghdad. Dawn will be approaching, and people will there be getting a sense of just what has been wrought in the course of the night. And there was a purpose behind that, to have the president make his address after these first waves of bombing have taken place. We're also given to understand that the president will try to seek a tone of reassurance in this speech, reassurance to this country to be sure, and an explanation that diplomatic efforts had been exhausted before taking this step. We also understand that the congressional leadership, the main people on Capitol Hill, that would be Senators Dole and Mitchell, Congressman Foley and Michael, have been informed by the president. David?
Thank you, Charles. We'll be back to the White House again, the presidential address to the nation at 9 p.m. We go now to Jerusalem and Richard Blystone.
David, here in Jerusalem, the Israeli army has just made an announcement over the Israeli radio. It has advised Israelis to stay home and to open the kits, these boxes which contain their gas masks. It has told them to stay there and keep listening to the radio. However, there is no alert here, there are no sirens, and there is no indication that the possible Iraqi attack for which the gas masks are intended is even underway or planned. Back to you, David.
Thank you very much. Richard Blystone reporting that Israeli citizens are being advised to break out their gas mask kits and have them nearby. We're going back now to Baghdad at the Al Rashid Hotel. Bernard Shaw, Peter Arnett.